What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Wednesday, March 30th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an 11-game slate here tonight. So let's take a look at the point guard position. So I think you got a buy low opportunity here with DAngelo Russell from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Toronto Raptors, who have a good defense overall. They've been good versus opposing point guards. DAngelo Russell has averaged 35.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's projected at 34.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 6,600 DraftKings salary, 1,100 less on FanDuel. So I love that FanDuel price. Way too cheap over there on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 229.5 points scored in this game. And DAngelo Russell has scored 17, 33, and 20 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 30, 30, and 27 minutes. So you can see 2 out of his last 3 games hasn't played very well, but he does have 32 plus fantasy point upside. If he can get his season average, he would crush value on FanDuel and get you well over 5 times value on DraftKings. So I do think that this is a buy low opportunity. Just a great FanDuel play. So I like DAngelo Russell here versus the Toronto Raptors. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like OG Anunoby from the Toronto Raptors playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the 10th worst defense overall. They give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. OG Anunoby has averaged 32.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 36 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 30.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 5,700 DraftKings salary, 100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 229.5 points scored in this game, and OG Anunoby has scored 32, 27, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 39, 28, and 26 minutes. So I like OG Anunoby here versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now another guy that continues to be underpriced, and he's been on fire, is Will Barton from the Denver Nuggets playing the Indiana Pacers, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Did I say it's Will Barton? Yeah, Will Barton from the Denver Nuggets. I know, I'm just spacing it here. I forgot if I said his name. So Will Barton has averaged 29.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate, and he's projected at 29.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 5,700 DraftKings salary, 100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 232 points scored in this game, and Will Barton has scored 33, 42, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 37, 35, and 30 minutes. And take a look at his last 5 games versus the Pacers. Scored 48, 43, 26, 33, and 42 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Pacers. So I like Will Barton here versus the Indiana Pacers. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Harrison Barnes from the Sacramento Kings playing the Houston Rockets, who have the worst defense overall. They give up the second most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Harrison Barnes has averaged 29.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. He's projected at 30.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. He's 5,900 DraftKings salary, 400 less on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 233 points scored in this game, and Harrison Barnes has scored 25, 39, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 37, 39, and 31 minutes. So fantastic matchup here tonight. And Harrison Barnes has scored 23, 36, 37, 31, and 40 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Rockets. High scoring game, good game to stack. So I like Harrison Barnes here versus the Houston Rockets.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the power forward position. I like Jae'Sean Tate from the Houston Rockets playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the second worst defense overall, give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Jae'Sean Tate has averaged 25.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 20% usage rate. He's projected at 23.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 4,500 DraftKings salary, 400 less on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 233 points scored in this game, and Jae'Sean Tate has scored 27, 16, and 28 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 27, 20, and 22 minutes. So I like that he played 27 minutes last game. I think he's a decent value play here to get yourself some low salary exposure to this high scoring game in a great matchup. So I like Jae'Sean Tate here versus the Sacramento Kings. Okay, another value play that I like is Brandon Clark from the Memphis Grizzlies playing the San Antonio Spurs, who have the 7th worst defense overall. They've been pretty good versus opposing power forwards. Brandon Clark has averaged 22.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 19 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He's projected at 23.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.6 times value. He's 4,300 DraftKings salary, 300 more on FanDuel. And this is another high scoring game. Vegas thinks there's going to be 233.5 points scored in this game. And Brandon Clark scored 21 fantasy points in his last game, played 25 minutes. So I like Brandon Clark here versus the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, moving on to the center position, the stud on the slate, Nikola Jokic. And there is plenty of value on this slate if you want to fit in the Joker. But if you do want to save some salary at the center position and go with a super low salary play here, super value play, I think he's got a great chance to crush value here tonight. Take a look at Kenyon Martin Jr. from the Houston Rockets playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the second worst defense overall. They give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Also available at the power forward position, Kenyon Martin Jr. He's averaged 17.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 21 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate, and he's projected at 17.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. He's only 3,600 DraftKings salary, 300 more on FanDuel. And we know Vegas thinks there's going to be 232.5 points scored in this game. So a low salary player to add to this high scoring game. Kenyon Martin Jr. has scored 19, 23, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 26, 25, and 22 minutes. So I like that he played 25 and 26 minutes the last 2 games. Now he's in a high scoring game with a fantastic matchup. And if he can get 20 fantasy points or more here, he would crush value or get you well over 5 times value. So I like Kenyon Martin Jr. as a value play here versus the Sacramento Kings. Oh, real quick before you get out of here, if you want daily sports betting and player prop picks, we put a link to today's video with our NBA picks in the bottom of the description of this video. It's our new YouTube channel, so we would really appreciate it if you dropped a like on that video and subscribe to that new channel so it can help us get shown in the YouTube algorithm and you won't miss those daily NBA picks.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.